Good morning. Welcome to everyone here presently with us in our beautiful church sanctuary, and welcome to everyone on Zoom this morning. It's good to see your faces as well. Each and every week we get a little bit better at bringing our friends and members through Zoom so they can enjoy the service as much as we do. Nice cold morning. Everybody's bundled up. That's great. So good to see all of you. I want to welcome any newcomers who are here for the first time today. After service, if you're a newcomer, if you would come up and introduce yourself to us, we'd be glad to meet and greet and talk with you. This is year 2022 in February, and this year has been deemed the year of creating healthy lifestyles. But that's for me. I don't know about you, but I'm all for that. Our topics for February are under physical health, mental health, and spiritual health. And the themes are balance, healthy emotions, and wholeness. I'd like to invite Cheyenne up toward our meditation this morning. This is our opportunity to put our feet on the ground, to be here presently, physically, mentally, spiritually, and take in a little time for ourselves just to take in this moment forward. Take some deep breaths with me, please. It feels good to be here. It feels good to be present with you. in this new year, we have the opportunity, the ability, the capability to choose balance, healthy emotions, and wholeness with God's Spirit. Let our focus be here right now, forward for this. We give thanks for this and so much more, God. And so it is. Thank you, Cheyenne, for that music. It was beautiful. It's time for our spiritual thought, and I'd like to bring up Mr. John Lalonde for that. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
Let me adjust that mic anyway.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Ah, there you are. Well, I want to talk about some of the structure of the themes for the year, in that it reminded me of something. So I'll explain of that. So let me just start by saying this is the year of creating a healthy lifestyle. That is the overarching theme for the entire year. Each of the themes each month has three different components. It has a biological or a physical component. It has a mental health component, and it has a spiritual component. In each of those components, there are different themes set out each month, but it follows that structure throughout the year. So I wanted to start with that. And this is a little bit of a different spiritual thought than I have typically given, in that I want to reflect back on social work training that I went to. I had two careers. My first one was in social work. My second one was in law. And when I started graduate social work for a master's in social work, there was a model, a practice theoretical model that program was designed around. And it had things that were very similar to the way that our themes are set up here. The social work education model was set up that you would address that a social worker, and I was in the health concentration that involved preparing social workers to either work in hospitals as health social workers, or in child protective services, social welfare kinds of services, which is what I did as a social worker in Sonoma County when we lived there. So the theoretical model focused on biological issues, psychological issues, and social issues. And that model, as you might guess, was called the Biopsychosocial Model. And I see some people, I know there are probably half a dozen persons who have at least masters in social work or therapy or rehab. So I see some smiling eyes above your mask. So I went to social work school starting in 1979. And in 1977, the model changed to this biopsychosocial model. Prior to that, it had been the biomedical model, which was basically, and I'm really simplifying to get it done in a paragraph, but it was basically a biomedical model. And what that meant is that a doctor could heal whatever ailed you with surgery, with some physical treatments, or with medication. There was no attention to what was going on in your mind, particularly. There was no attention to any psychological issues, and there was no attention given to social issues. So what I thought I would do is talk about those categories, bio, psycho, and social, lay out what a social worker was to assess when working with a family or an individual, and to do that in the service of trying to get kind of an inventory of issues that we as human beings are addressing. And because they match our monthly theme structure, it may be a good thing at the early part of the year, and being the first speaker on these themes for this month of February, to just kind of lay out some of those things. So biology was the first category, and what that looked at were things like physical health, nutrition, sleep, any physical limitations or special needs, vulnerabilities or concerns, any genetic conditions, biochemical imbalances, exercise, and activities. So when focusing with a client or with a family or thinking about a case as such, looking at those biological issues to see if there was anything that the person needed any help with, or that we might be able to lend some assistance as social worker and other professional helping types. The second area was psychological, and that addressed your lifestyle, any stressors, your coping abilities, any behavior problems, any beliefs about health, mood, personality issues, emotional health, life expectations, substance abuse, and self-esteem, and any other mental health issues. So in the assessment of a person on psychological issues, those were the kind of categories that you would be asking questions about and trying to design, what it is that the client wanted to do with those issues, and then designing how you might be helpful to them. The third area was social issues. And this was a recognition in professions that, as that people are part of families, we have friends, we interact with social institutions, like education, like law enforcement, like employment, things like that. So this was also, this is back in 1977. This is the beginning of paying attention to cultural issues. And I say paying attention to, certainly there were a lot of people that were paying attention to these issues already, but the model was integrating it into how social workers were to be educated. So it was then that race, ethnicity, cultural issues started to come into the discussions between helping professionals and clients. So also part of this social assessment included whether a person attended church services or not, and nothing more than attendance. There was no addressing the actual substance of their beliefs or anything like that, but do you go? That was kind of the question. So this biopsychosocial, it was a way to assess how a person was doing and then design whatever kind of treatment or improvement in wellness people wanted to pursue. So interesting for us here, what happened in the late 1990s and early 2000s, which I will just say is not that long ago, there was a recognition by these helping professionals that religion and spirituality had an important role here, that they were important to a person's wellness and certainly important to people's healing, and that it needed to be included in helpers' assessments and helping of people. So as you might guess, this theoretical model, which everyone was being trained in beginning in the early 2000s, was called the Biopsychosocial Spiritual Model. So when I first heard this, I thought, oh man, come on, it's just, but it was the name for the model, and it now, just 20 years ago, started to include what we focus on here at the PLC more intensely, and it started to include the spiritual model. So the addition of the spiritual model was a recognition that a whole person wasn't just their body or their psychological issues. It involved their beliefs and the way that they processed, their religious values. And so the assessment in assessing the spirituality issues that a social worker and other therapists would do was to really kind of try to ferret out, did the religion or spiritual beliefs create some values for the person that, if you're out of sync with your values, that can lead to unhealthy kinds of conditions. So the focus became broader to include that. And so it included things like How does a person's religion or spiritual values interact with their ideas about illness or wellness, and what it will take to improve their functioning and create their own healthy lifestyle? Do they factor in, this was a big issue as people were studied that were dying. It was looked at, is religion or spirituality coming into the person's thoughts and feelings and adjustment to end of life sort of circumstances. And so that was a part of what social workers were to attend to, and social workers, as well as many other persons, were to address just how are those values. Are they being judgmental? Did you live a life that was not satisfactory to your belief about what God's looking at? Or are you integrating your spiritual beliefs into your readiness and preparation for the next stage here? So what all this has to do with us here is I'm hoping that list that I kind of went through, give us an inventory to assess how we're doing across all those domains and issues, and to be grateful for all the things that are working well for us, but to also then pay attention to what is it, are there any of those things that we need to address further or more deeply to then get in sync with the theme here for the year of creating a healthy lifestyle. So thank you. So it is.
Thank you, John. It's very interesting. Spirituality in that as well. Beautiful. Cheyenne, I'll ask you to come up and play a song for us. I think Barney's going to assist you this morning.
And Spirit's going to play.
And Spirit.
Spirit's going to keep us in time.
Fire.
How does that look?
Hello, everybody. I'd like to share a song with you that originally comes from the Uniquim tribe in Brazil. They're a very tight-knit tribe, very much focused on community and family. So this is a cover of that. Oh, and I need my keyboard. Should be. Let me check. Is that right? I'm coming from the forest, carry with me songs of love, bring the healing of all tribes in the name of all of us. I'm coming from the forest, carry with me songs of love, bring the healing of all people in the name of all of us. I'm asking day and every time, to bring us so much healing and the joy back to our lives. I'm asking of the Mother every day and every time, to bring us much, much healing and a joy for our lives. Shin Hallel, Shin Hallel, Shin Hallel, 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 Shin Hallel, 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 Hallelujah. Shin Hallel, Shin Hallel, Shin Hallel, 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 Shin Hallel, 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 Hallelujah. And from the center of the forest, with my family of life, it's my heart that now is calling with my ancestors inside. From the center of the forest, with my family of life, it's my heart that now is calling with my ancestors inside. Shin Hallel, Shin Hallel, Shin Hallel, 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 Shin Hallel, 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 Hallelujah. Shin Hallel, Shin Hallel, Shin Hallel, 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 Shin Hallel, 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 Hallelujah. Shin Hallel, Shin Hallel, Shin Hallel, 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 Shin Hallel, 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 Hallelujah. Thank you, Spirit.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Cheyenne, Spirit, and Barney. Let's give them some more love, huh? That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you. Gosh, that song almost took me to sleep. It's so relaxing. Thank you so much. It's time for our speaker today, and it's none other than our own Reverend Sandy West. Good morning. You just said anyone you like. Justice.
Cool, thank you. You know, it's seeing spirit just shows me how much time has passed. I can remember the building and him crawling around on the floor when he was just a baby during service.
Yes.
Now he's all grown up. Things are going fast. John, that was a really wonderful lead-in. Thank you.
Yes.
It really put it into perspective. And what's interesting about this month's topics is I thought a lot about wholeness. If a pie is complete, we say it's whole, and then we take pieces out of it. But when we talk about us and our individual wholeness, as you listen to John, you heard a good long list of things that are involved in that. So I've always thought of wholeness as not a finite concept, that it's something that moves all the time. It's something that changes all the time. To me, the perfect wholeness would be, you know, when you talk about all the plates that are in the air, where they're all perfectly balanced at the same time, spinning at the same time, all together. But we don't do that in our lives. We have ups and downs. We have plates that are wobbly. We have plates that fall. It's constantly changing our level of wholeness. So I don't want you to get discouraged as we go through this year, thinking that you haven't got something enough, because we're all, as he used to say, perfect for our stage of development. We're where we need to be for what we need to learn, for what our soul needs, for what we're here to do or interact with. So you think about it. Okay, let's talk about those healthy emotions. Well, I still get angry. I still yell occasionally. There are things that I don't get done on time, or done perfectly, if you will. But it's more about the process of working towards wholeness. It's more about how we deal and interact with what's going on daily. We're looking for this thing called balance. But what is balance? I'm balanced pretty much when I'm on, both feet. When I try to stand on just one leg, used to be I could do that. I can't do that anymore. I just go like this and wobble all over the place. So balance is also something we're trying to maintain that moves all the time. So as we look at all that's going on, our process of spiritual involvement, of growth, it's constantly moving and changing. None of us are the same in that aspect. We're all working on different things. And each one has different major things they're working on. We all do the minor things together, but the major ones, the ones that really grab us, our emotions, really can turn us upside down and inside out. When the world isn't working, or we're not working with it, we're not in tandem, things go to hell real fast. And then you have to stop, and you have to think, and you have to spend time getting yourself back in line. It's not something we just do once a week at church. It's not something we just do once a month. We constantly, daily, minute by minute, are searching and trying to achieve wholeness and balance, to achieve healthiness, to be able to do emotions to the best way they can possibly be done. Yes, we need anger. Anger can motivate us. Anger can fuel us. Anger can protect us. But anger out of control causes harm. So again, we're looking for that balance of whatever the emotion is. Where that point is probably different for each of us. So you can't compare yourself to somebody else and think, oh, they're further along than I am, or they're evolving more than I am. We're all the same. who are all working at it, just at different times, at different places, at different speeds. This last year, 2 years for all of us has been different. It's having to wear the mask all the time. It's having to repeat yourself because the mask muffles stuff and people don't hear. A different way of doing things. It's a growth process. And that's what we're going to learn about this year. It's a growth process. It's a process. And that process is for all of us to interact with, and it's different for each of us. It helps to have things that help you get your head straight, because it's very easy to get confused. Am I angry because I'm angry? Or am I angry because I'm around somebody's anger and it flooded me? And I didn't have good protection up, so I took on someone else's anger, which is very easy to do. You see how a mob goes. You see how a crowd can get motivated to do harmful things, to hurt people, to tear things apart. So we have to really learn to stand in our individual truth, to be us in connection with Source, to have that connection, that light, that stability, that balance, and to handle our emotions in that way. And it's a constant coming up. I'll have things that I thought that I'd healed, and it comes up again. Another memory, another dream, another something. Or I find an old paper, an old letter, and puts me back there again. But I find that each time it gets easier and easier and easier, and takes less time to get back in line. So my plates go up and down. They wobble all over sometimes. But the trick is to keep them in the air, to keep them going so that they don't break on me, so that one doesn't take over the whole system and bring the system down. Emotions are necessary. They're what makes us beautifully human. To be able to love, to care, to reach out, to interact, to be around others. It's a gift, and a gift that we are constantly giving. The only thing we have is ourselves. The only thing we have to give is ourself. It's important that we are aligned in a loving, graceful way to do that. That we can come together, look people in the eye, smile, see their beauty, see their inner beingness, see their truth, to be able to love, that unconditional love that doesn't judge.
Yes.
It doesn't think, oh, they look good, they look bad, what have they got on, what are they talking about, what are they eating, how do they look? All that has to fly out the window. We have no room or time in our lives anymore for that. It's a petty way of living, and we have no time for it. We've seen how fast life is going. We've seen that. Have you ever sat down and thought about what were my goals for this life? How many have I achieved? Have I achieved any? And we're talking about more than just I was going to go to college and graduate, or I was going to get this job or make this kind of money. We're talking about our goals for us to be a better person, a healthier person, someone who is approaching a state of wholeness, someone who is healthy all the time. I don't know if it's possible to be healthy all the time. I'd like to think so, and I'm focusing on that, but I haven't seen it yet. And maybe if it's there, maybe that's when we leave the planet, because we don't need to be in this school anymore. But it takes time. It takes caring, and that means no judgment. We can't judge ourselves or others because we don't know what's going on or what's involved. And we don't know what everyone's dealing with. We don't know what the things are in their dark side of the night. We don't know what that is. So we can't judge. We have to be able to stand in light and in truth And in that, to know that God is everything. And if God is everything, then we are all wonderful godlings. We have this ability to change the world and to make a difference in the world. And it's up to us to do it. But we do it 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time. It's something that you start making these habits to do. I get in the car and I pray that I'm going to be safe, that my journey is going to be uneventful, that things are going to go smoothly and easily. I used to, before I went to a client's house, I would pray again, that I would understand, that I would be able to connect, that I could make a difference. Always, constantly. I would talk to God in the car. I didn't mind long drives because I was never alone. There were always these conversations with spiritual entities or beings or whatever we want to call them in my head. It was something that grounded me, that helped make a difference, that helped me learn to be a better me. I had a lot of anger and rage to get over. I had a lot of hateful things that I had done earlier in my life. I had a lot to forgive myself for, to release, to let go, to do what I needed to do. And it's something that's not over yet. I continuously am working on things. I think we all are. But it's what gives us purpose. If we didn't have a purpose, what would one life in this world be worth? Why bother? Let's just party all the time. There would be no reason to do anything, to be anything, to become anything, to evolve. And it doesn't have to cost money to help yourself. There are all kinds of things that we can do. There's music, there's dancing, there's art, there's journaling. Oh, journaling is wonderful when you're angry. Tear that paper up and get all that out. Vomit on your paper. It really is. All these kind of things, massages to help you feel more loved, to be touched. The last couple of years is not being able to, very few hugs, very little touching anymore. I miss that. That was one of the things that our church was so good at. The touching, the connection, the being together. So we have to find other ways to do it. And those are the challenges that we have. So we're hoping as we go forward through all these topics this year, that it helps you get an understanding of what your plates are doing, how to help the plates so that they stay in the air and don't drop, how to be okay with you just the way you are, and to love yourself just the way you are. We're all beautiful beings, and I've learned that. I've learned that with God in everything has an inner beauty, no matter what it is. A weed has an inner beauty. It's only a weed because it's at a place where it is, so the wind blew it somewhere else. Everything is beautiful. To see a dead tree and know that it's going back to mulch and it's going to go into the earth and it's going to fertilize it and make it all better and help other trees grow. To know that generation after generation, we have new humans coming in and they're being loved and cared for and helping to grow. It's this ongoing process that we watch and we're a part of for a while. And there has to be purpose in that. And the purpose, when we look at the world and everything that's going on to it, is to find love, balanced in love, to be able to love through healthy emotions, to be able to allow ourselves to whatever our state of wholeness is that day, and to be able to be okay with whatever that state is, to be okay with where you are, to be okay with what you're learning, and to be grateful. Grateful for these opportunities, grateful for this understanding, grateful for the ability to be more than we started out as. We've all had a lot of years in this world, and we've all had a lot of experiences and learned a lot of things. Just think that the world is better than it was. There's things that just surprise me all the time. More people are focused on health. More people are focused on each other. Yes, there's a lot that's different than that in the world, but it takes a start, and it takes a light after light after light as each person lights up more and more as they help themselves. And that's what we're doing here. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend. It just reminds me that we continue to have opportunities to get better and better and better. God is always there. We always talk with God, always look to God. And I do this for myself as well. I want to be a better person, and I want to continue to educate myself on how to have that great life the rest of my life. That's beautiful. Thank you, Reverend. Wonderful. Could I ask a couple of volunteers to come up and help me with Offertory, please? There's one, there's two. And will you do the Offertory prayer with me, please, at this time? Divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. For those of you on Zoom this morning, I believe, Missy, we have information, thank you, for you to look at where you can send donations to the Positive Living Center as well. So thank you for your donations. Thank you, ladies. Your monies is what keeps your church open. It pays for everything that needs to be done toward our service here each and every Sunday. And it's so good to be back home. It just feels so good to be here. Do we have any announcements this morning? Luana, I think you have an announcement. What, come up here and tell us about your class? Did do what?
Did we do divine love flowing through me?
I certainly did. I was right here. I heard you. Can you come up?
Yes, I have an announcement. What is it?
You wanna get here on the mic where they can hear you?
Oh, okay, I'll do that. My bad.
You thought I missed the prayer?
No, I would never think that. Good morning. The announcement I have is for this upcoming class on the 20th, starting on the 20th, and it is Conscious Creations. We'll be using Deepak Chopra's The Spontaneous Fulfillment of Desire book. And so if you'd like to sign up, please do so by just using your iFocus. There's a button there, a link to have me send you a registration form, and I'll take care of that. So look forward to it. Namaste.
How long is the class?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. Thank you, LJ. Any other announcements? Reverend?
We need a mobile mic that
A mobile mic.
floats around.
Yes, I could walk out there with it.
On Wednesday mornings from 9:30 to 12:30, I'm on Zoom for Zoom office hours. So if you want to chat, need prayer, need to talk, it's in the iFocus. It's under the blue part that talks about Sunday. It's down there on the right, has the information. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend. Anyone else? Warner?
It's not really a announcement, it's a.
They can't hear you in the Zoom.
Oh, okay. I thought it was loud. I was just wondering if everyone enjoyed this beautiful singer Cheyenne as much as I did today. And so I was kind of asking her if she would do a song that she wrote, maybe as we sing out, if that's okay with everyone. Oh, great.
So we'll do that. Thank you, Warner. Thank you. John?
I want to announce that on this coming Saturday, February 12th at 2 p.m. here, we'll have the flute circle. And people are invited. You don't have to be good. You do have to have your own flute because we're not loaning them out anymore. And we are paying attention to COVID numbers still being high in the area in Madera County. And so if the weather is good and it's supposed to be low 70s, we're going to do the flute circle on the handicap parking area out here. So outside, and we'll get to deal with wind and the flute, which is a good thing to do. So we've had one so far. Coming back together, it was very fun. People who came had a good time. It was great. So that's from 2 until 2:30, 2 until 3:30. And if the weather is bad, we'll do it in here, but we'll make a very large circle and be 6 to 8 feet from each other. Since we're blowing or actually lightly exhaling into the flute in each other's general direction, we want to be very careful with it. At 3:30, we'll stop and the setup for the drum circle will begin. So Brenda asked that I announce that this morning, that the drum circle will begin at 4, set up at 3:30, and Judy DeRosa conducts that.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Bob, you want to talk about your spiritual discussion group?
You can just announce that it's the first Tuesday of each month at 5:30.
First Tuesday of each month at 5:30.
Yeah, and the link is in the, goes out to announce the services.
Through the email that's put out? Okay, so the information is in the email there too as well. Thank you. If you would like to have a prayer today for yourself or someone else, there is a box down as you head out the main doors. To your left, there's a box, we call it the front box. And there is paper and pen or pencil there to write out a prayer request that you would like for us to pray upon this week. The ministers and practitioners receive those. So please do so. They're great. I am your prayer partner this week. Please feel free to call me anytime, anywhere. I'm glad to talk with you and be glad to pray up with you at any time. Anything else? Good, very good. Let us do the prayer of protection, please. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. The energy of God is me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And Cheyenne, you kind of got volunteered to play a little something. Why don't you come up and do that, then we'll close service.
Here, you want to play rhythm? Oh, I remember. It's been a while.
Turn your mic back on.
I just want to make sure. This weather, sure.
Within every cell of each individual, there's a perfection. While arising and passing, creeping subversions, thoughts and feelings, forms and appearances seem everlasting, but are ever changing. And reflect only parts of a whole that can just be experienced. Knowing this is finding all we see. Knowing this is finding all we see. Knowing this is finding all we see. Oh, we see. Oh, we see. The thing we call love and ecstasy come from within us. Within our soul are the contents of the heart. The thing we call love and ecstasy come from within us. Within our soul are the contents of the one life and one heart. Knowing this is finding all we see. Knowing this is finding all we see. Knowing this is finding all we see. Oh, we see. Oh, we see. The light in is all things. The light is in all things. The light is in all
Brian and Barney, thank you so much. Thank you for being here today. Did I let you guys know that Reverend Bob is the speaker next week? Did I say that? I didn't think I did. You should have checked with you.
Your ride home's gonna be fun.
It could be long. It really could be. Reverend, send you to come up and pray us out, please.
Should I just focus on the two of you?
That'd be great.
Just close your eyes, please, and take a couple deep breaths in and out. Breathing in harmony and love. Breathing out conflict. Oh, knowing that there is only love. And the beauty of our family here is so gorgeous to watch. It is so comfortable to be in this church with these people. And I know and accept that each of us brings something to the table, that we all have something to give and to share, and that life is better because each and every one of us is in it. And I know as we all go forth today and this week, that we're going to carry that joy and that love with us. We're going to spread it around and let the world be feeling that love and be more healed, because we are in it. We are making a difference, and God is. And say with me, please, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Reverend Shandy. Thank you all for being here today. We'll see you next Sunday, and have a great, great week. God bless.
Yeah. Everybody want to unmute themselves and say goodbye. Everybody have a great week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. It's nice to see everybody. Lots of blessings. Here, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Nice music, nice service. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.